We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It's Tuesday as you're listening to this, recording Monday night with me tonight. A familiar face to you, Trucker T. Trucker T, how you doing?
Hey, we're
Welcome
doing
back.
good. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
I got a touch of a cold, nothing big, but a touch of a cold that I got from my granddaughter. So, um, if I sound a little weak tonight, it's not because I'm weak. It's because I've got some medication that's making me a little tired. So I'm a
Slowing
little
you down a little
less.
bit.
Yeah, it's slowing me down. The 65 years doesn't help, um, but I'm a little slowed down. I just want to mention something before we get started. I mentioned it on the last podcast, and I got some response to it. A while back, I put out a phone number to text me, and that didn't work. So I came up with one that works. I can verify that it does now work. If you have questions, comments, whatever you got, you can text them to me at 952-522-1399. 952-522-1399. I'll give it out at the end of the show again so you can get a pen and whatever you got to do. But we got a number of questions yesterday, and I'm going to, I think I might do like a separate thing where I'm just talking about those questions. It'll be a shorter, it won't be a full podcast. It might be 10, 15 minutes or so, and just have it out there so we can respond to what the people are thinking. And I appreciate those people who already participated. So when this airs, Trucker, we got the elections going on. Seems like Donald Trump's a little unhinged about it. He's freaking the fuck out, and he's particularly worried about two of them. You know, you got the governorship in Virginia, governorship in New Jersey, but you also got Prop 50 in California, and you've got the mayoral race in New York City. Uh, and he's really freaking out about Mondani, as a lot of Republicans are. Um, and he came out today. I don't know if you heard this, but he endorsed Andrew Cuomo.
Hmm.
Now, Andrew Cuomo lost the primary to Mondani as a Democrat. Now he's an independent, and he's endorsing Andrew Cuomo. Here's my problem. There is a Republican candidate too, Curtis
Exactly.
Sliwa. He doesn't have a fucking chance in hell, but Donald Trump is ignoring him. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know if giving Andrew Cuomo an endorsement from Donald Trump is really a plus these days.
No, it's not. Have you seen the numbers, the early poll numbers in New Jersey?
You mean in New York or New Jersey,
No, New Jersey, as far as early voting.
for the governor's race?
Yeah, for today. Yeah, I just saw it before we got on. I think it was like 614,000 Democrats who's already gotten out and vote to 370 Republicans. So they're dwarfing these guys already, and it's early voting.
Well, and that's the one they're claiming is so tight. Mickey Sherrill against some Italian guy who sounds like a slimy fuck, which he probably is because he's a Trump umper. But they were thinking that's going to be close. I don't think anybody would be surprised if Mondani, Mickey Sherrill, and Bamberger, I think, is down in Virginia, if all the Democrats win. It sounds like the key to this is by how much. If it's an
Right.
overwhelming win, it's going to throw some shivers down the backs of Republicans.
Well, I mean, so far, every indication that I'm looking at is that these races are going to be overwhelming. They may seem close, but these are just polls, right? When you once you get your actual people out on the ground, that's when you can see the difference. So
Yeah,
you look at New Jersey, 614,000 people said, "The hell with this shit! I'm getting out today,
yeah.
and get my vote out there." Right. So, can you imagine what's going to happen once the actual vote takes place?
And it's unusual we'd get a big turnout for an off year election. So that tells you how motivated these people are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole world is motivated at this point. If you think about how the election transpired and all the things that he said during the election, right? I'm going to take down groceries, day one. Gas is going down day one. Drill, baby, drill. All of that. Those
Yeah.
were uh,
Bullshit.
bullshit and rally cries, right? And once
Right.
he gets in office, all of that goes out of the window. He's not talking about lowering the price of food. He's talking about buying Argentinian beef. They spent, I think they said a whopping 144 million or maybe more, or they're going to spend it on new commercials. The USDA is going to put out for Americans to buy beef. You know what I mean? But they're saying they can't fund the SNAP program, or they can only partially fund it because of the money. But you can put that kind of money out for us to buy beef, and that's a whole nother situation, right? So he creates a problem with the tariffs, um, and soybeans. They're not buying. I mean, China's not buying it anymore. So he goes over to Argentina, gives them 40 billion, probably more than that, and then decides to give them more welfare by buying beef from them and bringing it
Yeah.
over here and asking us to buy it, and then telling our farmers to lower their prices.
Right. And they're already losing money. Yeah.
We're
I
losing
just
money.
want to I want to mention one thing about the Mondani thing. Donald Trump once again trying to illegally influence an election. Mondani, he doesn't want to win. He claims he's a communist. That's not the truth. But he said to New Yorkers today, well, if Mondani wins, I'm going to start taking away federal funding. Now, I don't know what
Right.
kind of federal funding New York gets. Taking it away would be illegal anyway. But Donald Trump is really big on people meddling in elections, but he does it every fucking time.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to take funds away. That's just his, he's selling wolf tickets on that. He can't. It's illegal, right? I mean, if the money is appropriated by Congress or however it is, he can't just take it away. He's not a freaking king. He's Donald J. Trump. He's just the president of the United States.
We talk about Donald Trump, and the one term that always comes into play when I think of him is smoke and mirrors, because he says a lot. It's all about perception for him, but he's not very good when it comes to actually following up with it. Uh, like, for example, we got the SNAP benefits. The SNAP benefits are stopped right now because of the shutdown. They aren't going out. Now, he says that he could not use the emergency funds, which was bullshit. He used it in the first term. And now he gets this judge to say you must use the emergency funds. So he comes out today in the time frame he was supposed to come out and says, "Okay, we'll use the funds for partial funding of SNAP." But he's got to get it all put together, change some things around. And Donald Trump says that to make people excited that he's actually going to save them, even though he caused the problem in the first place. But I'm willing to bet, like everything Donald Trump does, it's going to take a while to get that done, if it gets done at all. He's just talking shit. And you can say whatever you want to say, but if people are starving, they're fucking starving.
Yeah, well, he said it himself. He said, now, once we figure out how to do this, it could take weeks or it could take months. He's already set the stage for this thing to drag out, while
Right.
people are hungry. He said it himself, and here's the thing with that. So to say that they don't have any money to fund the program is bullshit, right? They've got the $6 billion to do that. And then once that runs out, there are no less than two bills that are proposed by Republican senators or Congress to uh, fund it after that money runs out. So they've got plenty of money. They've got the bills behind them. He just doesn't want to do it. He wants to use the American citizens as political pawns.
Or there's another alternative to that I brought up on the podcast before, and I'll see what you think. Or the money is not there. Donald Trump spent a lot of money on a lot of shit, and we don't know where he got it from.
Yeah, well, some of them are saying that he took money. He took the SNAP monies, that $6 billion, and used it for other stuff like that 174 million on that jet, or two jets
Yeah.
rather. Excuse me. Yeah,
Right.
two jets, and then now you've got JD Vance flying around his alleged mistress, on Air Force Two. I mean, they're spending money like it's no tomorrow, right? $3 million on a stupid Gatsby ball, 233 million on the ballroom. He wants 230 million. Who knows? You're probably right. It's probably all gone.
Well, and I'll tell you why I think that. Because I've said before, my father was basically a Trump before Trump was in politics. He uh, he made a lot of money for a guy in his area. I'll put it to you this way: in the 1980s, my father was making $250,000 a year.
Yeah,
Not a billionaire, but
yeah,
that was a
he was
lot of
well
money.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah, he was well to do, and he had all kinds of money, and he spent everything he had, which is what narcissists do. They think the money will never stop, and he spent it. So what happens is he thinks he's a big shot. He's got to live like a big shot. He spends the money, and then it gets a little tight. You go, well, I'm a fucking genius. I'll just take money from here and
right.
do that, and then I'll replace it later. But you don't, and you start moving money around, and what happens is you get you get overwhelmed because all the things you were sure you were able to fix, none of them fucking worked.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you're in a hell of a fix. And that's how my dad ended up ultimately. My dad, who made that kind of money for a long period of time, when he died, he was living in a one-bedroom apartment sparsely furnished, and he died sitting alone in his recliner chair
Wow.
in his underwear
Yeah, they
for a
call it.
guy making millions and millions of dollars over a long period of time
He
in
went.
the 80s.
He went out the way he came in with nothing.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
pretty much. So that's what I'm saying with somebody like Donald Trump. I'm the smartest guy in the room. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, that doesn't make sense because you don't have enough money. Don't worry about it. I'll take it from here. My dad told me, and maybe it was the 80s too. He said, get as much credit as you can. And I did. And it fucked me over in the long run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
that's
would.
how these people think. That's how these people think, and that's why I'm concerned not only about uh, the SNAP money when he's gone. I'm concerned we're going to see a big fucking financial mess because that's usually what these fucking clowns do.
Well, the thing is, we should be seeing tremendous gains at this point, right? With all the cuts that Doge
Yeah,
did, right? We don't know where any of that money is. They didn't cut anything. They just said they did. And you notice how quick they came in and how quick they left. It's almost like they
yeah,
left without saying goodbye. I mean, we don't even talk about Doge anymore,
no,
and that's weird, right? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, are they still there? I mean, I know one of the Doge ladies, he's making her the head of something to do with the Navy, some
yeah.
huge part in the Navy, and she's just some 23-year-old Doge chick.
Well, I would think that people would learn a lesson when you look at what's been going on in the 10 months he's been here. I've said it before. Uh, he comes in, he fucks up the farmers with the tariffs, right? They lose all the sales of soybeans. Plus, he wants the rare earth minerals, which he had in the first place until he put the tariffs on, because China gave us about 90% of the rare earth minerals. So he puts the tariffs on. The farmers get fucked. He said, "I'm going to give you a bailout." As far as I know, they've gotten no bailout. So then he can't come up with a bailout. So he goes to China and says, we've got a deal. They're going to buy soybeans. They're going to give us rare earth minerals. They're going to do all this shit. But then we find out that it's a framework. There's nothing on paper, nothing signed, no guarantees, and it's all contingent on the market and politics. And when they say politics, what they mean by that is Donald Trump fucking up again. And you can
Exactly.
almost be guaranteed that he's going to fuck up again. So these farmers think they're going to sell their soybeans this year. Even if any of that's true, it probably won't happen till last year. So you're taking your whooping for this year, and there's no way out.
Right. And then even the deal that he struck, that, I mean, so think about this. This year was set to be a record year for farmers. Donald Trump steps in, fucks that up, right?
All right.
So he goes over and try to redeem himself. And he comes back with a deal. Hey, China's going to buy $25 billion worth of soybeans. And everybody was like, hell yeah, way to go, Trump. And then somebody broke the numbers down. They said, that's good, but it's worse than what it was last year. Last year, it was actually 27 million. And now, and there's no guarantee that we're going to get it. This dude's a fucking idiot. I swear to God. I really don't understand. And I'm being serious now. I really don't understand how people can find him intelligent. Like how they just can't look at him and say, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Uh, I mean, I've owned a couple of businesses in my time, and I've had some people working for me that weren't the best choices, might even be skimming some money and stuff. If you're running something, whether it be a business or whatever, you got to be very aware of what's going on and not get caught up in the bullshit. Because once you get
Exactly.
caught up in the bullshit, you get your pants pulled down, reamed. What do they say? What a term I remember: blued, screwed, and tattooed is what you
Glued, screwed,
get.
and tattooed. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know even what that fucking means, um, but that's what's going to happen. Essentially, what Donald Trump did, even if it was a deal that he cut with China, and it's not, he basically got back what we had with a little less than we had in the first place before he fucked it up. And
That's
then he gave away more shit to China. So if anybody won that fucking negotiation, it
it's
was
China.
certainly China. Yeah, no
Well,
question.
no difference than he said, hey, Japan is going to give us $10 billion and new this and new that. Japan comes right back and says, hey, whoa, we didn't say any of that. I don't know where the fuck he's getting that from, but we didn't say that. So this dude is just, I don't get it. I mean, even if it was stamped, if it was time stamped on his tongue, I still wouldn't believe it.
No, no. And the problem is now all these people that think they're going to be saved by Donald Trump, even though he caused their problems, when they don't get saved, then what happens? I mean, another good example. We got the shutdown. Don't worry, we're going to pay the military. Pete Hegseth, go find some fucking money and we'll pay the military. Pete Hegseth never found the money. But then somebody comes along and says, hey, I'm a good buddy. I'll give you 130 million to pay the military. Turns out he and his dad have a connection to Jeffrey Epstein, but what the hell? We'll give you 130 million dollars. You know how much what 130 million dollars means in terms of money to the military?
Roughly $90 a piece.
90 to 100 bucks a piece. So are they going to be happy with that? He thinks he's a hero. He thinks he gaslit them for a little while. But when they get that check for 90 bucks, they're going to be pissed. And then what do you do next? See, this is what narcissists do. They do something, they fuck up, and then they try to fix it and they don't fix it all the way. So then they got to fix up another fuck up, and that's when they get buried with bullshit.
Well, this is how much of a fuck up this guy is. Have you heard of Glenn Kirshner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I met
okay.
him.
Okay, good. So Glenn just put out right before we got on, he put out a Substack, and he says over 100 judges have ruled against Donald Trump over 200 times. So how how much of a fuck up do you have to be to have that type of history, that type of numbers against you?
You know, the thing about it is that you're right. How big a fuck up does Donald Trump have to be to get beat up that many times? But he's a delusional, cognitively diminished fuck. You know, the people I really question is the lawyers he hires.
Right.
They fucking know better, and they still do whatever he says. A lot of lawyers have been disbarred, fired, resigned, gone off in shame, broke, like Rudy Giuliani. Why do these lawyers continue to listen to Donald Trump and do what he says when they know it's fucked up? They know a judge is going to embarrass them in court. I just don't know. I get Donnie because Donnie's just a dumb fuck, but these lawyers aren't all dumb fucks. They know better.
Yeah, they know better, but they get caught up in that limelight, right? They want a piece of that too. You know what I mean?
Uh,
They think that now that he has his presidential immunity, Dunny can't do any wrong, and I'm going to get a piece of that pie. You know, whatever money he's looting or taking, allegedly taking, I'm going to get a piece of that. And then it turns out like this uh, attorney that he has over Letitia James and Comey, right? uh, she stepped into it. Right now, they're requesting all of the grand jury tapes. They're requesting all the grand jury testimonies because the judge wants to know what the fuck did she say uh, to get an indictment.
yeah.
And they're also working on getting that disappearing app that she used to reappear some of those messages. So she's got to answer to this shit now, and she's only been in here what 2 months maybe.
Yeah. Well, and
So
James Comey and his lawyer may prove that she's in the position illegally, which basically would throw the shit out. I don't even know that Comey's case goes to trial. Maybe not even Letitia James.
I don't
John
think either
Bolden
will.
might be a different story, but those two, I don't think they go to trial.
No, absolutely not. I don't think John Bolton's will either, to be honest with you. The only reason why they're there is because those tweets or X's, whatever the fuck you want to call them, right? Hey,
Yeah.
time's running out, blah blah blah. Make sure you and then okay, you had an attorney quit. He's like, dude, there's nothing here. So here comes this bitch. She comes in, does her little thing, and uh, it's insane.
Well, the way John Bolton's case goes away is, I mean, he had some classified documents, so theoretically he could be convicted of such. But this woman, this bimbo lawyer, uh, indicted him too. So if Comey proves that she's not legally in a position to be the prosecutor, and Letitia James, they'll throw John Bolden's out too because she's the
Absolutely.
same woman. Anything she's done, they're going to fucking throw out.
Yep, absolutely. And then you can't be tried for the same crime twice, can you?
Well, I mean, if they throw it out and they don't go to court, I don't know. Maybe they can. Maybe you can. I don't know what the stipulation is for double jeopardy. Do you have to actually be on trial and found guilty or not guilty, or
Good
guilty,
question.
not guilty? I don't know. If they never go to trial, there may not be that double jeopardy thing, but I'm not a lawyer, so I don't honestly know. Did you see any of the clips of Donald Trump on 60 Minutes?
I just saw one, and that was enough, right? Where he says, "Are you ready?" I didn't know him. Okay, I didn't know him. I heard he was a good guy. Blah 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 blah, and I pardoned him. I'm like, "What the? Are you serious? You're gonna
He was talking.
pardon
You,
some?
yeah,
Yeah,
you were talking about the Chinese crypto
Bitcoin.
mogul
Yeah,
who owned Binance, and this guy has trouble with money laundering. He also supports terrorist organizations like Hamas and some
yep.
other. He's a bad guy. And then when Donald Trump is asked about it, um, I don't know who he is. I pardon a lot of guys. That's exactly what he said. And people will say, oh, he's lying. He knows who he is. I don't think he does know who he is. It had nothing to do with who he is. It had to do with this Chinese guy saying, listen, I'll give you 5 million bucks. You fucking pardon me. That's all that was
Exactly.
involved
That's
in
all
it.
it was. Yep.
And
And
that's why I think P. Diddy might get released too. P. Diddy could float 5 million or so and get out of his situation. Donnie doesn't give a fuck.
well, it was close to getting a pardon from him, and then one of Diddy's old video resurfaced where he was talking shit about Trump.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and then all of a sudden that talk just went away. Um, yeah, he was saying that the world needs to get rid of people like Trump and Jeff Bezos and all these guys with all that money and power because they're ruthless, blah blah blah. And he was like, especially Donald Trump, the dude's racist, all this other shit, right? So that video resurfaced, and then all the Diddy talk went away because you have to kiss the ring, Mike. You know
Yeah, I know. And how coincidental that that would crop up now.
that exactly.
And people are worried about Ghislaine Maxwell too, that she'll get pardoned. And I don't think she will because that doesn't fix the problem. The
No,
problem is the only problem she can present is I'm going to tell people what really went on uh, in in Epstein's situation. So presumably they went there and moved her to an easier place to keep her quiet or say that Donnie didn't do anything. But she went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Yeah, we're not hearing this." So the only way she can get out now is a pardon.
right?
So she could say, "Well, if you don't give me the pardon, I'm going to start talking shit about Donald Trump." And
Yeah,
I got to be honest with you, giving her the pardon isn't the answer to that problem.
it's not. Releasing
The
the
answer
files
to
are.
the answer to the problem of Ghislaine Maxwell is Epstein treatment. Because even if they give her a pardon and she heads down to fucking Bolivia and she says, I need some money now, I'm going to talk now, as long as she can talk and
She's a
come back
problem.
for more, she's a problem.
Yep. So speaking of problems, so let's go back to 60 Minutes, right? And
Yeah.
CBS. So I've heard conflicting stories. Well, I'm not going to even say conflicting stories. I've heard two separate sides of this CBS thing. First, I heard Donald Trump praising the lady. the new lady at CBS. I heard,
Yeah,
I haven't met her.
Barry Weiss.
Yeah, I haven't. He says I haven't met her, but I heard she's very right leaning. Blah blah blah. She got rid of the DEI hires because they went and fired all five African American producers, walked them out,
Right,
and I
right.
believe Gail King is next. And then, so that's one piece of it. The second piece of this is Trump sued CBS for editing the video. Right? They
Yep.
edit his video. So he's okay with it now. And then here's the third piece of that. The Trump supporters are now pissed off at CBS. So everybody's mad at CBS right now, right? So the Trump supporters are upset because they say that they over edited the video, which didn't favor Trump very well. It was over edited and it made him look stupid. And I'm thinking, okay, which one is it? You know what I mean? Like, did they do a really good job? Or did they over edit it to make him look stupid? Or is he just fucking stupid? Well, we know what that is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the funny thing about this is that Donald Trump sued CBS because he claimed they edited Kamala Harris's interview, which isn't a thing because every media outlet would edit an interview to fit the time space they have. They weren't trying to make Kamala look good. They didn't make Kamala look good. So he's against editing the videos, and that's a lawsuit. Well, that's a lawsuit CBS could have easily won, but instead they bent a knee and paid him $16 million, his blood money, if you will. So now he goes in and gets interviewed. He does about 73 minutes of an interview and they air 28 minutes. Clearly, they edited what he did.
Right.
And like you're saying, some people are saying they edited it to make him look stupid. I doubt that very much. There was a couple of meltdowns I'm hearing about in that interview that didn't show up in the interview. There was no mention of Epstein in the interview. There were a lot of lies, a lot of bullshit, a lot of hype, a lot of unhinged behavior. And I have a feeling they picked out the only thing they could possibly air in those 28 minutes. I don't think they made him look worse. I
Good
think they
point.
actually made him look better, and that's a sad fucking commentary.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? And I agree with you on that. That's probably all they could air. That was all the material that they could actually air. That wasn't a bunch of you know rubbish, for lack of a better word, or temper tantrums and all that other bullshit, or Bidenism. Right? He's got Biden derangement syndrome. He's got Obama derangement syndrome. Obama hasn't been president for a while, in case he hadn't forgotten. So
Yeah.
it's time to move on past Obama and his fans also. Let's move past that. Trump's the president now. He's been president twice since Obama. So let's just move on from that. I don't give a shit what Obama did because he's
No,
not my
Obama.
president now.
Yeah, Obama doesn't really matter anymore. But I wonder now. Donald Trump does this 60 minutes interview. It doesn't come off real well. People are talking shit about him. Now, does Donald Trump once again strong arm CBS and say, "You fucked up. You didn't put out the good stuff. I said all the good stuff. I'm going to sue you." And then CBS gets on their knees again and hands him another $15 million. I tell you what, if he does that, CBS fucking deserves it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have bent in the first place.
Well, if he gets on there, here's what CBS should do. If he comes back with that bullshit, rambling about you made me look bad, blah, 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 not a problem, sir. I apologize. I will put out the full unedited video today.
Yeah.
Flip the switch on his ass, and then we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? That'll shut his ass up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they should do. They should have done that in the first place. I mean, the Nora O'Donnell, who did the interview, she was once kind of a respected journalist. But as far as I can tell right now, CBS and anybody that works for CBS, CNN, anybody that works for CN are a fucking waste. Jake Tapper was one time thought of pretty well.
Yep.
He's a joke. Nora O'Donnell, I'm sorry, you were a good journalist, but by virtue of who you're hanging out with and where you work, I mean, if you're a nice girl working in a whorehouse, you're still going to be thought to be a whore.
I'm just
Somebody's going to
saying.
offer you some money. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I walk in an establishment, I don't care if you're the greeter or the meter. You know what I mean? You're still working there in my eyes. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he does another one of these things. I hear he was also irritated that the interview started later than he thought it would be, that was aired later than he thought it
Yeah,
would be because of NFL football. He
and fuck
thought he
him.
should take precedence over football. I'd be curious as to what the ratings on that thing were. I'm expecting it probably wasn't nearly as good as he thought it might be.
No, I didn't even know it was on. And the reason why I saw it, it was what's his name? Aaron Parnas. He had a couple of clips on TikTok. And that's the only
Yeah.
reason why I knew he even did the stupid thing. Like we knew Kamala was coming on because they talked about it and they talked about it in commercial and whatever. I didn't see anything about this dickhead.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
and
is
also
there,
it's
go
illegal
ahead.
now. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's illegal to say bad things about Trump now, by the way.
Well, then I'm going to be doing some hard time because I don't know if you've noticed, I've said a couple negative things about Donald Trump in the last 5 years. I hope they don't
Ugh,
dig them up. They might be hard to find now because they're so buried in all the great accolades I give Donald Trump. It's
yeah.
just, it's just so. So Donald Trump is dealing with this shutdown thing, and they're saying that Donald Trump is really angry that the Democrats haven't caved yet.
Oh, I bet.
And as I've told people before, you have to understand Donald Trump is experiencing something he's never experienced before. Donald Trump's whole life has been about bullying and having the upper hand, whether it be as a business owner or a dad with a business owner and all kinds of money. He says something and they bend and scrape to him no matter what, no matter how stupid it is. And that's what he's used to doing. And frankly, dealing with the Democrats the last 10 years, they've always caved at the last minute. Donald Trump just doubles down and triples down until they cave and he wins. But that's not happening now. And he doesn't understand it. He's a little unhinged. He's a little nervous. He's confused. And the Democrats are doing the right thing. At one point, even if it took you 10 years to do it, you got to take your stand and you got to force the issue on Donald Trump. You got to make him bend. It's just a matter of if he has enough sense to bend, and will the Republicans have enough power to get him to bend? Because that's the only way this is ending.
Well, they're working behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Republicans and Democrats alike, right? You've got so far they've had three separate votes, right? One for Canada, Brazil, and the world. I think it was on tariffs, where they went in and voted against that. Even is it going to go anywhere? No, but they're rebuking him, saying, "Hey, we don't want this." Right? The Republicans are having a backdoor vote on these things. But it's not going to matter because, he is who he is. But they voted to not do the tariffs on Canada. They voted not to do the tariffs on Brazil. Then they voted not to do the tariffs on China. And then I think yesterday they voted all tariffs,
Right.
voted, to take them back. But is it going to change it? Probably not. But they're just telling him, hey, listen, we think this is a bridge too far for us. We didn't think you would be this unhinged, this crazy. So now we have to start reining you back and getting old couch boy into the picture a little bit more. First, we got to get him married again. We got to get rid of Usha and bring in this Charlie Kirk chick. And then we can continue for 2028.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. We talked about it yesterday, and it's weird and it's wild and
Mm,
it's conspiratorial, but it sounds all too real. But now, in order for like you say, the Senate is already voting against Donald Trump. People are getting the pressure and they're pushing back against him, but none of that matters because it has to appear in the House,
right.
and the House isn't even in office. The House isn't even in Congress. They're out till the 9th of November at this point, so they're out another week before they may be coming back. But I heard Mike Johnson or somebody say maybe we'll just stay out till January. Well, that's good. Just stay out till January and do nothing because you're terrified of the Jeffrey Epstein files. What happens? The only thing that could happen here, because I don't know that Donald Trump will back down because he doesn't give a fuck. He has nothing to lose.
Nope.
Um, if the House and the Senate says fuck it, we're going to vote against Donald Trump. That will create the rift between Donald Trump and Congress, which has already started with what the Senate's done. Now, in order for them to accomplish anything, they not only have to vote against Donald Trump, they have to vote in a big way because they've got to make it veto proof.
Right.
And
And
if
what's the
that is
margin
to
for
happen,
veto proof?
um, is it 60 votes? Or is it 67? I'm not sure.
I know it's 60 something. I'm gonna have to look that up also. I know it's in the 60s.
But in order to do that, you'll need all the Republicans and a good chunk of Democrats, or vice versa. Um, and that's a lot to ask these days from Republicans. They haven't been willing to vote against them. Do you think these elections today, if they have Democrats pounding the shit out of the Republicans, do you think that gets the Republicans starting to think finally?
Well, yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying that these elections today that are going on November 4th, 5th, or whatever, are precursors to what's going to happen in the midterms, then in the next presidency. So everybody watches these like non-race races, right? Like before, we didn't really pay attention to them. They were just more of a barometer or water tester for the midterm to see how they're going to turn out. But I
Right.
think it's more important now that we watch because like I said in the beginning of the podcast, if New Jersey is any indication of how this thing is going to swing, they're fucked. Because
Yeah.
think about how many people are so upset right now. All these farmers are pissed off, right? They're going out making commercials now. Listen, I've never ever seen farmers go on like TikTok and put their website up there, for beef, for chicken, for poultry. They're trying anything they can to sell their product. Before, you just go to the grocery store and get it, or they'll, send it over, sell it to China. Or what was that big old program they cut early in the year where they said, oh, the Democrats was,
USA.
USAID were funneling money through that. Well, that was the biggest part. That's what really crippled these guys. So it's bad, Mike, and I'm telling you, we're going to see a change. This non-election election, that's what I'm calling it, is going to be a game changer, and it's going to be a precursor to the midterm.
But is it going to be enough to get them to do
Absolutely,
something? I mean,
absolutely. You
when I talk to Eric and I talk to other people that say, well, they got to really feel like um, Donald Trump is no longer an asset but a liability. And I say to them, I said, yeah, but you could have figured that out the moment he was elected, that he was a liability at that point.
right?
That's when they
No,
should have dumped his ass.
I don't agree with any of that. Here's why. I agree that people are growing more and more frustrated daily, whether they say it or not. Right? They know that this shit is so foul and it shouldn't be happening. Right? I mean, you're watching all the videos with ICE on the streets. I saw one other day where they were scraping this guy's face up against the street. Nobody wants to see that bullshit. You going to
Yeah.
get some eggs. You got this Gestapo over here, dragging people through the streets, taking grandmas and throwing her in the back of the fucking police car. So quietly, these people are thinking about that. And they're going to do the same thing they did when they voted for his ass, when they quietly went in there and we all thought it was going for Kamala and ended up going for him. People are fed up and they didn't think he would take it this far, this fast. Even the Heritage Foundation came out and says, holy hell, dude, slow it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's bad when they come out and say, look, we didn't think you would even do a quarter of this shit. You need to slow it down.
Yeah. Well, what we're seeing with ICE, there was a video of a guy he was handcuffed and he was down, and one of the ICE agents punched him while he was restrained. Um, I'm wondering if what we see with these ICE agents is we see more and more videos. Is it going to be like what we saw in the 60s with the hoses and the dogs and stuff that really got the civil rights on
Yeah.
track?
Well, Trump said it in an interview yesterday, right? He said he don't think they're going far enough.
Right.
So, I mean, what the fuck? I mean, what are you going to do? Just start killing people in the middle of the street? That's what he's saying that he can do, right? He's saying, hey, I can do the same thing in America with the drug dealers.
Yeah.
Even though the United Nations told him, hey, that's it. You got to stop, bud, until we can figure this shit out. You can't just be blowing up boats.
Well, the United Nations has even gone as far as calling it war crimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Just
poses another
yesterday,
problem.
if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and I will tell you this: everybody talks about Donald Trump's immunity. That immunity is limited to certain things. Bribery and that sort of stuff don't fall under that immunity, and he certainly has no immunity when it comes internationally.
Zero. And they said they want to treat him as a war criminal. So we'll see where that goes. I don't think they're just going to sit back on their hands and take this.
Now the only problem with that is the United States doesn't recognize the ICC international courts, so they can't come in here and drag him out of here. But it's really going
Right.
to restrict where he can go. So if he has to run out of the country at some point, he's going to be real limited as to where he can go.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Israel, right? Or they can't go in there and grab Netanyahu either. But if he steps foot on that soil, on the wrong soil, sorry, you got to go, bud.
Same with Putin. Putin can't go to a lot of
Nope.
places.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will nail his ass. Um, the other thing about the immunity thing, you talked about that earlier. He's got this immunity so he can do certain things. All the people around him, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, uh, Scott Bessent, all the people in ICE, Christy Noem, none of those motherfuckers have any immunity.
Nope. Not
And
one of
I
them.
heard I heard one representative say, "You guys better lawyer up because this will come to an end, and they're going to be looking for people to be held accountable, and you motherfuckers are ripe right at this point."
Yeah, Swalwell. I think he said
Yeah.
save all your communications, emails, texts, phones. He said don't throw it away, and get your lawyers ready because the second his ass is out of here, we're coming for you. He said each and every one of you.
Now, see, if I was in the position of Christy Nome or something like that, innately I would know this. I would know these are criminal acts, and that while Donald Trump is protecting me now, the DOJ is protecting me now, the likelihood of that going on for the rest of my life is even somebody as old as me, that's not likely.
Mm-mm.
So, do you think they realize that they're going to be um, held accountable when this is all done, or do they believe that this will go on forever?
They believe this is going to go on forever. They're setting it up, and in their own minds, Daddy Trump is going to be there forever, right? He's going to be our
Yeah.
savior. We're untouchable. But that balloon is going to burst. It's kind of like a flat tire. You don't expect the tire to go flat going 55 mile an hour down the road. But when it does,
Right.
it's bad, right? So when
Yeah.
this tire pops, it's going to be bad. And I can't wait.
Well, I'll guarantee you there were people in the Nixon administration who felt that way, and
Hmm.
there was a number of them that went to jail, including the Attorney General John Mitchell. So,
Well,
the,
Trump is telling all of them, hey, don't worry about it. Even if you go to jail, I can pardon you. Just let's just stay, stay steadfast. But they're not thinking clearly. None of that shit. If they break state laws, he can't do anything with that. And that's what the attorney general over in Illinois just said the other day. He's like, listen, I've had enough. You know what I mean? He said, if you guys are breaking these laws, we're going to get you. We're going to lock you up. He said, whether you're a police officer, whether you're ICE, whether you're a citizen, he said, and you won't be pardoned. You're gone. So,
well, and not only are we talking about state crimes, if Donald Trump is on stage and catches some lead or chokes on a Big Mac and dies on the spot, he ain't gonna fucking pardon you from the grave. I
nope.
guarantee you that.
No, he's got too many apparatuses on him. He's got something on his side. He's got something going down his leg. This fucker is not healthy. You know what I mean? He's taking tests to see if he knows what a cat and a fucking duck is. So he's not going to be around too much longer. I'm sorry.
Well, did you see him in that interview? He had this kind of a weird look. He's kind of hunched over. He's kind of leaning to left side. He's got the left side of his mouth, I think it is, or right
Hmm.
side going down, but his
Yep.
eye is kind of drooping too.
He's
So
had
there's
that
something
stroke.
fucking seriously going on.
Yeah, those are side effects of the stroke. Um, and I'm pretty sure he's wearing some kind of pacemaker or something on his side. I saw it yesterday, the square box. And the reason how I know that because it looks like the square box they wanted me to wear for my heart issues. So when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, does he have one of those? But we won't know because they keep everything close to the vest.
Well, they showed something in his leg that was kind of puffing out on the left side of his leg,
It's a pee bag.
which a pee bag, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I bet he's a hit with the ladies now.
Ugh. Can
Shitty
you?
diapers, a pee bag, and a bad heart. Boy, I
Oh
bet
yeah.
you he's a Casanova.
Oh man, he's going to go out of this world um, shamefully. It's not going to be gracefully. Even if we don't see how bad it's going to be, he'll know. Kind of like Elvis, right? Eating peanut butter on the fucking toilet, and he
Yeah.
gone. You know what I mean? It's gonna be something like
Yeah.
that. He'll be eating a Big Mac while he's taking a shit and have a heart attack.
Well, I doubt he's doing that. There's no reason for him to sit shit on a toilet while
That's true.
he's got his diapers on. Maybe he'll be on his back, somebody changing his diaper and
Oh,
choke to death. My greatest joy would be if he dies, that he does it on stage during a rally on national television. I want it to be the
it's,
most embarrassing thing possible.
yeah. Well, we won't get that lucky because you got that 7 minute delay. But you got cell phones now, so I guess that 7 minute delay don't mean anything.
Yeah, it's going to be well,
Or
you know,
seven
the point
second
you
delay.
7 second delay. Yeah. The point you make is interesting in that when we look at all the things that are going badly, the economy is going badly, the farmers are getting screwed, they're getting promised things that they'll never get. The shutdown is going badly. The federal government is not getting paid. The military is not getting paid. It's one thing to fuck up one area of the government and trying to do what you can to cover it up or divert or distract from it. But he's got too much shit going on right now. Too many people are pissed off. Too many people are suffering right now, and it's not just Democrats. That's the interesting thing. Donald Trump says, yeah, the shutdown, the Democrats are going to take a hit because we're going to get rid of all these Democratic um, programs. And I'm sure he's talking about SNAP.
Yep.
Either he doesn't realize or doesn't care that red states use SNAP and the ACA in a big way. And they're the ones that are going to get their asses kicked badly.
Has he never heard of the fucking Appalachian Mountains? There's no black people up there. There's no Mexicans up there. You know what I mean? And there's no jobs up there. The coal industry is shut. It's done.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
got to eat somehow, right? JD should be telling them that. Hell, I watched that movie and I go on YouTube all the time and I watch those videos of Appalachian and how, um, and I'm not shitting on these people. It's just what it is, right? Like how impoverished they are, and they want to get out of it and do something different. But all of the jobs have pulled out. Coal isn't what it used to be. Or you got black long. Um, you, but he says it's a Democratic thing. It's not. If it was
Yeah.
only SNAP in Atlanta, Georgia, I get it. Okay, yeah, maybe. Right. But it's not. It's everywhere. Everybody's hungry.
Yeah, and I think that's a tipping point too. I mean, when you cause prices to go up and you deport people, people get angry about it. But when you start taking food away from people's families and their kids,
Yes.
that's when they start getting to a point where they think, I got nothing to lose here. I'm
Did you
just
hear?
going to,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. Did you hear Josh Hawley? He even came out against this.
yeah, that's hard. Well, he's from fucking Missouri. These people, he's got a lot of people on Snap in there.
Yeah. His thing is like, listen, I get the whole government shutdown thing. He said, but one thing we should not do is starve people. He said, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. He said, this is a disgrace. We shouldn't do it. We should use the money. Right. Even that chicken shit said that. So
But even if they use that money, it's only temporary. It's not a fix. They got to open up the government, and even if they come to some terms in the Senate, the House isn't even working. You got to have the House there because they're going to come up with a different plan. It's got to go back to the House. They either
yep.
got to vote for it or change it and go back and forth until it's over with. You know, we're looking at right now today as you're listening to this. I think. Uh, the 34th or 35th day. The record is 35 days, and that was set in Donald Trump's term. And it looks
Yep.
like we're going to go well beyond the record in the first term.
Yeah.
And people are going to be struggling. And then you throw in a little thing that's going to cause some problems too. We're heading toward the fucking holidays. It's going
Right.
to make everything worse. I don't know. Did you hear what Sean Duffy, the transportation director, said?
I
He
did not.
said
Well,
he said if if too many people leave their jobs because they aren't getting paid, like air traffic controllers, I'll just shut down flights all over the country.
yeah.
Now, what the
Well, he
fuck
won't
is
have
that
a
going to do?
choice. He also said he reneged. Also, he said that because a lady pressed him yesterday. Uh,
Yeah.
excuse me, one of these ladies. Are you really going to fire people who don't come to work? And he kept trying to dodge it. And he kept trying to dodge it. And she finally got him the answer. And he's like, no. He said, I can't fire anybody. He's I can't blame them for wanting to make money. They've got to feed their families. So these guys are saying, oh, shit, he's not going to fire us? Oh, I'm out. Calling off sick
Yeah.
today, bro.
Well, and the
So,
thing is, he probably pissed off Donald Trump in the process because Donald Trump is all about uh, uh, this draconian shit. We'll fire you if you're gone. That's real easy to say, but then you're going to have a couple of years with not enough air traffic controllers, and air travel is going to be fucked for a couple of years.
right. Well, he said that they're down 30, he said 2,000 to 3,700 air controllers. He said now with this shutdown brings it around 4,000 air controllers. He says we're trying to push them through as fast as we can, but I think he said a 2-year process to get them into the tower. So
Right.
I don't see it.
They
He
can't.
might
They
as well
can't
shut them
fire.
down. No,
Yeah.
how can you? It makes zero
Yeah.
sense to fire those guys.
But Donald Trump will continue to say that's what he's going to do. And he may even try to do it, even though it's untenable and it doesn't work. Um,
But that just goes back to what you were saying earlier, right? He's a narcissist. Everything that he needs is taken care of. He don't give two shits about anybody else.
yeah, we've said that for a long time. And I think more and more people are realizing it, but not everybody. We still have the hardcore red meat eating, redneck, dumb fucks that believe everything Donald Trump is doing. I still see him on TikTok. Every once in a while, people will come to me and they will say, well, he's doing a great job. I go, like what? And they've got nothing to answer that with, but they still stand by him. I can tell them facts and they'll act like it's not true or they didn't hear it or they'll divert to something else. There is a faction of people in this country that will never learn. They will be on his side till he chokes on his Big Mac.
Well, absolutely, and that's all they do, Mike, is divert, right? I mean, they can't. Oh, I'm sorry, deflect, right? And then they divert. They deflect and divert. What about this? What about that? When they ask him about the ballroom, and he says that, well, Obama golfed more than any other president. Hey, we don't give two shits about Obama golfing back in
That's not
2008,
true.
2009. And it's not true, by the way. So yes, he should not have been playing Great Gatsby whilst his people are starving. So fuck you.
Oh, that's a good question, though. Has Donald Trump been golfing lately? I mean, he was golfing every week. I haven't heard him golfing lately.
What they're trying to do is hide it because everybody is talking about it. I even heard that it was a joke, but they were saying, "Hey, if anybody can get us a picture, I'll give you 50 grand." But it's got to be time stamped and dated. But yeah, they're sneaking
Yeah.
him out of the house early and bringing him back. That's what last I heard.
I'm just wondering if he's just not capable of going out and golfing
He
now
might not be.
because he looks weak.
He looks like
very weak.
ass.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
does. No, he definitely does. He does not look good, and I hate to be that guy that takes joy in other people's problems, but with him, I
Oh, this
take a lot
guy?
of
Oh,
joy.
please. This guy's a total dirt. I mean, I'm typically a real level-headed guy, and I respect everybody, right? I judge the person by the content of their character. You
Right.
know what I mean? And this guy's character is in the garbage. So fuck him.
Yeah, he absolutely has no character at all. And uh, you brought up Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk a while back. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because that whole fucking situation is weird with Erica Kirk and JD
Oh
Vance and
yeah,
all
it
that.
is. Did you
I,
see
I,
JD? He was
I,
levitating.
I know, and I'm watching on TikTok and I saw this. Everybody has an opinion on JD and Erica hugging and her putting his hand through his hair and then cutting away and showing his wife looking,
Right.
stern. But this one black creator, this female, came up and she says, "Did you see that with Erica and JD Vance?"
Mhm.
And she just cut to the chase. She goes, "Those two fucking.
Yep.
There's no question. Those two
100%.
fucking."
Yeah, I seen her. I seen her today. Yeah, she's right. because I mean, there's no reason for that. I'm sorry. And then hands on her hip. Nope. Mm-mm. Sorry.
I tell you what, if you or I were on stage doing that very same thing with our wives in the crowd, we might not get up the next morning.
Nope. I wouldn't even be able to leave that room.
No, hell no.
That's
But
insane.
and I was talking yesterday with Will, and I said the whole thing is just so fucking weird with Erica. There's something off about her. There's the old story I told Will this story that I read, and he hadn't heard it, which surprised me. But she was in a pageant with Donald Trump years ago.
Yep.
Okay, she knows Donald Trump. Then she went to work with kids in Romania, some program for kids. And then there was a lot of kids going missing. Now, I'm
Right.
not saying she did anything, but I will say the country of Romania kicked her out of the country because they thought something was up.
Right. And they couldn't prove it. So they said, hey, listen, we know something's going on. So at this point, we're just going to ask you to leave. And
Yeah,
then the kids stopped coming up missing. Imagine that.
that's weird. And then she comes back. And as I said before, somebody like Charlie Kirk wasn't really doing much. He was basically a podcast bro like all the rest. And then a billionaire says, I'll give you some money to support you because he was young and it was fairly articulate and fairly charismatic. And then he runs into Erica, and then all of a sudden they're madly in love when she's this young, attractive, very educated woman, and he's this fucking podcast bro geek.
Right.
It seems very opportunistic to me. And now that Charlie's gone, she can't really run Turning Point America because she's a woman and she would be second class in that group. But now she's hooking up with JD Vance. JD Vance has a problem too because when Donald Trump goes, we've got JD Vance where Republicans don't like him. He doesn't have a lot of credibility unless he had a white wife with blue eyes who was the widow of their favorite son. It just all seems too weird.
Well, they say now Erica Kirk is turning in that Turning Point headquarters into a zoo, and they're upset because she's bringing in people who are not being vetted properly by them, and half of them they don't know who they are, and um, it's just weird. So they're going against each other. Then the
Well, that's what
whole
that's what happens when you have a woman run things.
that was Mike. It wasn't Terrence.
And I was being sarcastic.
Right. But yeah, they said that they're all in an uproar, and you got this Nick Fuentes bullshit, right? They're upset with that. So it's, yeah, they don't. Power is bad for people, and I'm finding that out. So I don't ever want to be in a position of power like that, because once you get a taste of it, you go outside of yourself, and all of these guys are going outside of themselves, doing things they wouldn't normally do to one up the next.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not worried about getting power and losing my head over it because I have a wife, two sons, a daughter-in-law, and a granddaughter and a grandson that will set my shit straight.
You got that right.
And at my age, the whole idea of fame and fortune is kind of pointless. I just want to finish out my remaining years in comfort and a lot less stress.
Yeah, and just
But somebody
relax and
like,
sail on out of here.
yeah, but JD Vance is looking ahead. He knows. I mean, he's such an idiot when he talks. He's not much better than Donald Trump, except he's younger. He says some stupid shit. I'm going to be curious to see how he handles all this gossip and talk about him and Erica Kirk. Um, he he doesn't handle this stuff very well. He doesn't. He says too many things, talking out his ass, and then he has no way to recover from it. I personally see if he ends up being president, Donald Trump is gone. It's going to be a mess. It won't be as dangerous because he doesn't have the power and charisma that Donald Trump has, but it's still going to be fucking messy.
Yeah, it's gonna be very messy, and I can't wait.
Well, and of course, in 2026, if Democrats get control of the House, which they should, and maybe even the Senate, that pretty much makes Donald Trump or JD Vance an impotent president. they won't be able to do anything except watch hearings.
Yeah, I don't think they'll give it to JD. Too many other people want that position. I doubt very seriously they'll give it to him.
Well, I mean, if Trump keels over tomorrow, he gets it by default.
Well, he get it by default, but they, they're gonna find some way to get rid of JD. Trust me, that boy gone. They'll probably bring in Steve Bannon.
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking wonderful. Do you feel I get the sense when I watch what's going on with all the horrible things in the country and the Republicans and how Donald Trump is taking a dive in terms of the polls. Are we seeing the divisions or the fissures in the Republican Party?
As far as
Well, as far as they aren't going to be unified at all. There's going to be different factions. We got Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking common sense and logic. Fuck me, how did that happen? And then
right,
we've got other independents and more reasonable Republicans pushing back against Donald Trump. The Republicans don't have a very unified party at this point.
no, they don't. And then you got people like Ted Cruz who wants to impeach the judge that ruled that Trump has to put the food stamps out. What the fuck is that all about?
Ted Cruz is a bozo. I think he wants to run for president in 2028, and I don't think he has a prayer. I mean, people have said that nobody likes him, not even his fellow senators.
Not even his
Al Frank
daughters.
Al Franken had that famous saying. He says, and he says, "I think, I think I like Ted Cruz better than anybody in the Senate, and I fucking hate Ted Cruz."
I haven't heard that one, but yeah, I bet.
And there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, he's just such a slimy fuck that you can't trust anything he says. Um, and you wonder, he's up for election in 26, isn't he? I think
I
he
think so.
is.
I think most of
It'll,
those guys will be gone.
yeah. You think in the 2026 midterms we're going to see? I know Eric does. He thinks we're going to see a lot of surprises, a lot of name
Oh,
people that are going to go by the
absolutely.
wayside. I
I
would think
think
Mike Johnson will be lucky if he
oh,
gets reelected in 26.
I don't think he's going to even make it to 26. Um, and you got a lot of them that are laying low too. Don't forget. I mean, think about the ones that we're not hearing from. Just because they're out, don't mean that their voices have been taken away. Unless old Mikey Johnson, uh, told them, hey, not to speak, don't do any media appearances. But yeah, I haven't heard from any of them except for Marjorie.
Would Well, I really honestly think that Mike Johnson's job as Speaker of the House is hanging by a thread at this point. No matter what he does, he can't win. He's got to bring the House back in session, but Donald Trump's telling him no. The people who want to get reelected in the House need to be seen to be doing something,
Exactly.
and they can't do that if he keeps the House. I mean, some people have said that Mike Johnson basically abdicated his job and dissolved the House of Representatives. That might be a little strong, but it certainly seems like that, doesn't it?
Well, it seems like he just keeps pushing them back further and further. I don't get it. And then, for you to, like you said earlier, hey, let's keep him out to January. I mean, that just, that's not a good look. It doesn't feel right either. You know what I mean? Like, how long are they going to stay out?
Yeah, I mean, what's January going to be? Is that going to be, are people going to be any less interested in the Epstein files at that point? No. And this woman who he hasn't sworn in yet has now broken a record for time before she's been sworn in.
That's insane.
It's absolutely insane, and there is no excuse for it, and he's going to get sued over it. There's got to come a point where the pressure's too strong. He's got to bring him back in session, and then he's got to swear her in. There is really no option. Just pushing the goalposts back isn't going to work. It's just delaying the inevitable.
Well, he's probably thinking that, if we do it in January, it's a new year, people are going to be coming off, feeling sentimental and, nice and warm and fuzzy because they just had a New Year's Eve party. They're going to let bygones be bygones, but that's not the case.
Well, he
at all.
thought that the case. He thought that was the case with the July 4th holiday too.
He sure did.
They'll take the month off and they'll forget about it. Nope, they didn't
Nope.
forget about it. I don't know if
Came
you heard
back
what
stronger.
Marjorie. Yeah, you know and I've said that before. I said I don't think. My wife asked me about this today. She says so when they swear this woman in and she signs it. Does that mean the files get released? No,
No.
no, it doesn't. It's got to go through the discharge petition, and then they've got to vote on it in the House. Then they've got to vote on it in the Senate, and then Donald Trump can veto the motherfucker. So it probably won't release the files. What the big issue here is that once a vote goes up, then people have to choose where they stand, and
Exactly.
that's the problem. I don't want the Epstein files released. Now you got to deal with the constituents. Or I do want the Epstein files released. Now you got to deal with Donald Trump. And that's
Right.
what they're trying to avoid at this point.
Well, I heard that there was over, and this is just hearsay, right? Speculation, but there was over 600 Republicans in the damn Epstein files themselves.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene's all about these Epstein files. And what she said, I mean, clearly they've seen some names of people who were involved in these Epstein files, the members of the House of Representatives. She said when the House comes back in, she's going to go on the floor and list the names of the powerful people, Republicans and Democrats and rich people on the Senate floor.
Oh shit.
And you know why she's going to do it on the Senate floor? Because
Uh-uh.
there's a law that you can't sue anybody for anything they say on the House floor or
Ha.
on the floor of Congress.
Yeah, but you still get your ass whooped though.
Well,
After it's over with. Yeah.
she might have some other problems,
Right.
but you know, she's kind of at a point right now where she's trying to redeem herself. I still think she's a stupid bitch. I still think she's a dangerous bitch. She supported Donald Trump. She's irredeemable, um, as far as I'm concerned. But it would be quite the theatrics for her to stand up there and start listing off Republicans and Democrats and oligarchs that all tied into Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, because that's the bottom line. Everybody's worried about was Donald Trump in it. Donald Trump was in it. There's no question.
Well, of course
My
he
only
was.
question, my only question has always been, you you convict people of drug trafficking. Now, if they are drug traffic or sex traffickers, they got to be trafficking to somebody, whoever bought into their services.
Right.
We've never seen any investigations, indictments of those people that were part and parcel to the end result of this sex trafficking. Why is that? Because they're rich and they have power and they have money and they get a pass. Those people shouldn't get a pass. We should know who they are. I mean, Prince Andrew's not getting a pass, or should I say, Andy, because he's no longer a prince.
He's no, and his wife can't live with him. What the fuck is that all about? Right. So they gave they kicked him out of his 39 room mansion and says you got to go stay in the back house, back of the king's house, wherever the fuck, right, on some private land. But your wife can't come. She's got to make her own arrangements. What the fuck is that? Jeez.
Well, and his first wife, Fergie, sounds like she was on the list too. I don't know what the fuck she was
She
doing.
could have been. Um, but yeah, they told her you can't stay in that. That's for royal family members. Even though we have admonished this guy, and we think he's lower than dog shit, you still can't stay there.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well,
And then they said that the king was supposed to reach out to Trump to say, hey, look, man, you see what we're doing over here with this. Just go and let
yeah.
it be done. Just rip the band-aid off like we did and get it over with.
Well, and that tells you there's a lot more that the Royals know that we don't know because they took pretty
Absolutely.
dramatic actions. I don't know if they've ever done that before. They might have, but not recently. The only thing I know of is the king who abdicated uh, for the wife he took. He couldn't be king anymore if he married what's her name, Wallace, whatever the fuck her name
Right.
is. But this has never happened, and this has got to be kind of embarrassing for Andrew. I mean, Andrew, is the king's brother. And when your brother says,
Man.
dude, you got to get the fuck out, that's some serious shit.
Yeah, they know something, right? And they know it was foul. They stripped this man's name from him. I mean, goddamn, Mike, they took it. They took his name.
What do we call him now? Steve?
Call him guy in the back of the house. I don't know
Yeah.
what else to call. I mean, they took this guy's. You're no longer a prince. You're no longer a duke. You're no longer anything. We're stripping you all of your titles, all of your medals, all of your money, and go to the back.
Do they give him any kind of money to survive or?
Well, what they said was he'll be taken care of um, by the prince, by the king's staff. So, so you know what it reminded me of the movie Eddie Murphy Coming to America
Yeah.
when when the king came in from Zamunda, wherever the fuck he came from, and he found out that uh, Alonso was pretending to be the prince, and they admonished him to the luxury hotel, and with $5 million and getting bathed and all of that shit. So that's what that reminds me of. So you're going to punish me by sending me to the luxury Waldorf Astoria. Give me $10,000 and feed me. So that's what's happening with this guy.
Well, maybe you should start a podcast or something, you know?
Yeah, I guess he could. Um, and call it Hard Knock Life.
Hard Knock Life
Have the
or
little kids talking in the background.
yeah. Is he going to be one of those guys like the drug dealers or the drug addicts who all of a sudden become people that work in rehabilitation centers? Is
I
he
don't
going to
think so.
talk about the evils of touching underage girls?
No. Or he could be like, you know what? They don't strip because they haven't gotten his side yet, right? We don't know how he's feeling about it, right? We don't know what kind of man he was. How much pride does he have? Like, right? You're gonna take my title, kick me out of my mansion. I'm telling on all you bitches. I'm telling on each and every one of y'all. Here's this name. Here's that name. Yes, Donald Trump was in there. Come over here and get me. Here's that name. Here's that. We don't know what that guy's gonna do.
Well, and not to mention the fact that, that's the same thing I was talking about with Ghislaine Maxwell. She knows a lot of shit. If they're worried about somebody talking, who knows what kind of, I mean,
Well, it'll
some
be
people
some.
think they got Prince Diana, you know?
Yeah, well, it'll be some
Uh,
tape missing, about a minute. Uh,
yeah.
from
But, over and above the Epstein thing, if he's upset that he's been exposed in the Epstein thing, that royal family's got some inside shit going on that they work very hard for people not to find out. They're very
yes,
particular about that. I mean, I saw
absolutely.
the crown. I saw the crown. I know what the fuck is up. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well, at least they
so
did the
I
right
told
thing.
yeah,
You
at
know,
least they did. They
he was the
probably had no
fall guy,
choice.
and I guarantee you, he's not the only one on those grounds. That had something to do with that. But they just made an example out of him. You know what I mean? And
Well, before
the king probably didn't like his wife and said, you know what, fuck her. Now I got a great opportunity to get rid of her, but I'll keep you in my private mansion, but she got to go.
well, it wasn't just Prince Andrew either. If you remember, the the ambassador
Yep.
to the UN from the was in the Epstein files. And as soon as that came out, he says, "Well, I'm sorry I ever met him and such and such, such and such." That motherfucker got fired too.
Yeah. Trump said he didn't know him. He was in the same fucking room with him. I've never met him. Dude, he was standing two people next to you
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
yeah. Well, that's what Donald Trump always says. I don't know who that is. Here's a guy that's president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, and he doesn't know shit about. I whenever I think of Donald Trump saying those things, I never watched the uh, whole movie of Gone with the Wind.
Right.
Go ahead, talk shit about me. I never had a reason to watch Gone with the Wind, but there is a quote in there, I think, and it was said by Hattie McDaniel, the first black woman to ever win an Oscar. She was in there, and the line was, "I don't know nothing about birthing no babies." That's what I think of with Donald Trump. He doesn't know fuck all about fuck
Well,
all.
Mike Johnson either. You see that video I put up the other day on TikTok, where they put together a hodgepodge of Mike Johnson saying he doesn't know about everything. Well, I don't know yet. Well, I don't know yet. I didn't know yet. I don't know yet. He
Well,
never knows anything.
and and he made another comment. They said, "When are you going to bring the Republicans back in the House of Representatives? When are you going to open up the House again?" And his response was, "What's the point?"
Oh wow.
So what does that mean? When he says, "What's the point?" Um, is he just basically getting frustrated with Donald Trump controlling everything,
Yes.
and he can't do it? Um,
I
if
think
I'm
you're right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, what he's saying, what's the point? Because I know if I bring him back, whatever I say doesn't matter anyway. I've got to do whatever Diaper Don tells me. So what's the fucking point of bringing him back?
well, you would think at some point there would be somebody be man enough, and I know it's ridiculous to suggest Mike Johnson would be man enough to do anything, but be man enough to say, "Fuck it, I'm pushed to the limit here. I'm going to lose my job one way or another, so I'm just going to do the right thing." But he refuses to do it.
There's only one guy in that whole entire cabinet tree that got some balls, and that is Scott Bessent, right? Because he'll punch you in the face. Other than that, the rest of them, they're all sniveling little cowards. They're not people like us, right? They don't believe in confrontation. They squirm from it. You know what I mean? So they're going to do whatever this bully tells them to do.
Scott Bessent, though, he's a pussy ass bitch.
He
So
epitomizes everything that they hate.
I'll put it to you this way: if someone's going to punch you in the face, they do that, right?
Right.
Scott Bessent does this. Just saying.
Hey,
I'm
it ran
just
off
saying.
Elon and some other guy he just had an argument with the other day. Told him, "I want to punch you in your fucking face." Well, bring it.
Scott Scott Bessent is probably one of the worst of all of them in there.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. This guy is working with a guy who's a racist, with a guy who is anti-LGBTQ. Scott Bessent is an acknowledged gay man. He is married. He had two kids through surrogacy, and he
Hmm.
still stands with Donald Trump. He stands up there every day and tells lies about tariffs and all this stuff. He didn't get to be as rich as he did by not knowing shit. So he
Right.
knows what he's saying is not true. He knows he's working with somebody who's working against his own community. He is the worst of the worst as far as I'm concerned.
100%. They said that when he originally took the position, he didn't think it would be this bad, and he wanted out because he got tired of his reputation being tarnished. But then that talk just went away, and he just went full MAGA at this point.
Well, and what good does it do him now? This will come to an end, and he's worried about his reputation. Too fucking late. It's
It's too
shot.
late
It's
for that
already
now.
done.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the case with all these people. Marco Rubio maybe had some possibilities down the road in politics. He's done. He's carried water for Donald Trump, even though he knows better. Who's going to trust the motherfucker when Donald Trump's gone and he wants to run for the Senate or the presidency? Nobody's going to vote for that
No,
stupid
I
motherfucker,
wouldn't
that
vote
weak
for
ass
any
bitch.
of them, Mike. Not one of them.
No, no.
No, because they're all tainted.
Well, then you take Cash Patel.
Oh,
Cash
fuck.
Patel is running the FBI. He's so anxious to take credit for something. They put something on his table about some internet stuff going on about possible terrorism, and it's just the precursor to going in and investigating this. And he says, "Yep, we found this. We caught these people. We arrested people." They've done none of that. It was just the beginning of doing
Right.
that. And I think they found out there was really nothing to it anyway.
Yeah.
But the people in the FBI are pissed off at Cash Patel for ruining a potential investigation and obviously putting us at risk because now they just shut everything down. They start off someplace else.
So when did we start tweeting out what we've done? Right? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, look, when did that become a thing? I thought stuff like that had to be in the skiff, and they're just handling tweets like it's no, like they're giving out candy. I'm so sick of this administration.
Well, you know and that's the problem. People say, "How can they do this? How can they not get arrested?" You have to understand the problem. We have Donald Trump, who's a criminal, the people around him who are criminals, and there should be some accountability. The Justice Department should be a separate entity, not controlled by Donald Trump, but that's not the case. We've got Pam Bondi and we got Kash Patel and we got all these fucks in there that even if they had something that they could prosecute, if it was something Donald Trump didn't want prosecuted, they wouldn't. So therein lies the biggest problem we have. We have people doing whatever they want and no accountability. And
Right.
we put ourselves in quite a fix by doing that.
Yep. No, I agree 100%.
It's absolutely absolutely upsetting to see what we've become. Because there was times when people say we're the greatest country in the world. No, we're not. We're
Not
not even in
anymore.
the top fucking 20 anymore
No.
because of Donald Trump.
Didn't we lose our A plus credit rating for the first time ever?
I think we had AAA, now it's AA,
Double.
and it's
Yeah,
probably going to go. It's probably going to go down again.
that's insane.
Then we're hearing about, and I don't know too much about this story, but having problems with banks because Donald Trump took off some regulations as to what banks have to do. So there's an issue with liquidity in
Yeah.
banks now. You can only take so much out of your bank account.
$1,000 a day. Okay.
That's
So what they're
that's
saying
scary.
is the way they do it, you only can take out $1,000 a day. Well, certain banks, I think it was Wells Fargo was one, where they'll give you a limit of $1,000. So let's just say you want to pay your rent is $900, but then your car payment is 400. The banks will figure out which one to pay, and they'll probably pay the 300 as opposed to the 900. It's all fucked up.
That's getting scary. I mean, those kinds of things are red flags for the future, and we've got nobody in government paying attention to that. They're
Nobody.
fine with it. They're fine with it.
Because none of
Um,
this shit affects them. That's the problem. All of those guys have gotten paid, right? They don't. I haven't heard one person except for Marjorie Taylor Greene to say, "Hey, look, my family was affected, my boys, my children." Talking about insurance. The rest of them, they don't care. They don't.
no,
They just don't care. I don't get it.
no, it's absolutely ridiculous. Uh, well, Trucker, we're going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer podcast. I want to thank you for taking the time to pop on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's my pleasure. You know, if it seems like we only talked about half, of what we what we could have, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
bad. Well, you know what I mean? Well, we're on here for an hour and a half, and we have an additional hour and a half of things to go through. Right? I want to go back to when politics were boring.
yeah. And we
That's
can
what I
talk
want.
about real issues that maybe have an impact on us. And I would go longer. It makes the production a little harder. And
Right.
honestly, I can't think of anybody in the world, including my family, that wants to hear me drone on for 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Honestly, that's why
Hey,
that's why when I see you do a live and it goes 2.5 hours, I go, how the fuck do you do that?
I take a lot of breaks. I turn my camera off and just let the panel go at it, and then I'll
Well,
come back half hour later.
that's probably a good idea. Maybe I should think of doing that with the lives. But um, hour and a half seems to me to be the edge
Yeah,
of where people are still tolerant of it. Or certainly I'm tolerant of it. I'm 65 years old. I don't have the stamina I once had.
yeah.
Just ask my wife. She'll tell you.
You
She'll
still
fucking
re-
tell you.
you're still recording me.
Chasing around my granddaughter, I get so tired after that bullshit. Tell people where they can find you. They should be able to look you up on
Yeah,
TikTok and wherever else you
yeah.
are.
You should be able to look me up here on YouTube at Trucker T. Actually, all of my channels are Trucker T. YouTube, Substack, TikTok. A lot of it is on TikTok. So I'm just now getting the YouTube and the Substack going, but the majority of my videos you can find will be on TikTok on the Trucker T dash 01 or something like that.
And I would suggest you check it out. Trucker T has some good information, always entertaining, and check out his lives on TikTok. And he tends to pop up in my lives on TikTok too. So be looking for Trucker T. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I do have a phone number that works to text me questions. If you don't have a pen, grab one. The point of it is when I had the emails, a couple of things happened. I got buried with emails with news stuff and all that, and sometimes I miss a lot of stuff. Other times we get some very prolific writers of emails, like 4 pages of emails, and I don't want to read four
No,
pages of emails. I don't. Put it this way: if you're going to write me 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages of email, fuck the email. Just come on the show. That's going to be easier for all of us involved because it's going to be boring having me read this out. Um, but if you can send a text to 952-522-1399, 952-522-1399. And maybe I'll put it in the comments too, so that if you missed it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the comments and maybe do a 15-20 minute podcast type of thing, and just address all those things, all those questions and comments and stuff, and we'll do it that way because it's hard to throw in the emails and text when I got a guest on, and I prefer having a guest as opposed to just me talking shit.
right.
I get tired of me talking shit.
No, nobody does, Mike.
Yeah, I know I do. I know I do. Well, anyway, Trucker, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it immensely. Those of you listening, I want to thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.